on this computer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am so excited to do this Zoom with you guys, and those of you that can participate, that's fine. Those of you guys that are listening, that's fine too. But I started my new book, and it's called Get Over Your Damn Self. And I don't even know how you say the author's name, but it's Rodney, and I don't even know how you say the last name. So I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like. So just type in Get Over Your Damn Self, and you'll find it on Amazon. But you guys, like, okay, so I'm going to tell you, last night I was laying in bed. No kidding. Like, I was like this, and I could not keep my eyes open. Like, I was so tired, but I needed to get my personal development done. Okay. So I'm like laying in my bed, and I'm like, there's 1 word, 2 words, 3 words. Like, I could not keep my eyes open. And I read like 2 sentences, you guys, and I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, I fell asleep, and then I woke back up. Like, my brain was just like, my wheels were just spinning because the book was that good. And then I just kept reading and reading, and then I fell asleep, and then I woke back up and read, and it was so good. I was like, okay, I know I need to go to bed, but I know I want to read more. Like, and those of you that have read Miracle Morning, that was like my book for a while. Like, I love that book, implemented that for my routine, everything. But this book, like, I'm pretty sure it's like right there, if not a little past it. So I'm telling you, if you do not have this book, well, probably a lot of you guys don't, because I just got it and presenting it, but you've got to buy this book. You will not put it down. It is that good. So the topic that we're going to talk about tonight is why people fail and why that's not going to be you. Okay. And this, seriously, like I said, like this, everything that I was reading last night, just my cup was like overflowing, like more and more and more and more. And I was like, oh my gosh, that. Like, there was just so many aha moments. So here we go. It's going to be kind of a lot, but if you guys have any questions or anything that you want to input, feel free to put it in the chat, or go ahead and just unmute yourself. So it's going to be, like I said, feel free to take notes, and then this will be recorded too, so you guys can like go back and refer to it too. So topic of the Zoom, why people fail and when that's not going to be you. Okay. So when we get started in this business, don't worry, Brandy, I'll make you feel a little bit better. I started our Diamond Zoom this week with 2% battery and died on our Diamond Zoom 5 minutes in. But don't worry, 10 minutes later, I went and found a charger. So we restarted the Zoom like at 10:16, and then everyone had to get off like 10:40. So, but it's all good. So don't feel bad. That's why anyone can do this business, because we're human. So, okay. So when we get started in this business, we don't have to hire a marketing team. We don't have to hire an HR department. We don't have to develop a website. We don't have to do our back office. We don't have to do any of the gazillion, billion, million things that go into building a traditional product or service company from the ground up, right? With It Works, it is all done for us. Everything, like everything to a T. All you have to do is use your ID number and your password to log into your account. And so, and I don't think, and like, as I stopped to even say that, you guys, I don't think people realize how spoiled we really are, you guys. Like, no company has that. No company has all the work done for us, and all we have to do is just talk to people. Now, the easiness of talking to people is hard, right? And we all know that. That's the hard part, which is funny because even as I say that, I'm like, that's so stupid, because that's the hardest part, right? We don't have to create anything. We don't have to do some magical process and be like, okay, how do we make money? We follow the steps of success. How do we sign a loyal customer? We walk through the steps. How do we sign a distributor? We walk through the steps and show them. You know, we get them plugged into our team stuff, yet we make the hard. So our job is to talk to people. You know, we're going to share the love for our products or share the love for our company. And there's 3 different categories that we put people in: distributor, loyal customer, or neither one, right? I mean, bottom line, that's just the way everything works. So, again, the topic, as Amanda saw you joined in, so again, the topic that we're talking about is why people fail and why that's not going to be you. So if this was easy, if this business was easy, then it was funny because she was like, why would I even need to write this book? Why would I even need to do this, right? Why aren't more people 6-figure earners in this business? Because anything but this business, or anything I didn't say anything about easy. This business is anything but easy. It's hard. It's really hard. And it's going to test you in ways that you never, ever, ever imagined. Can anyone attest to that? I can. I can attest to that 100%. So it will have tremendous highs. It will have tremendous lows. And it will require you to dig deep and learn resilience. It will bring out that fight in you, right? But you have to get so clear on who you are, what you stand for, and it will be such a roller coaster at times that it may have in you, you're going up and then you're going down. Then you're going up, you're going down. And I think we all can attest that, right? Sometimes it's going to make you feel like you're on the upscale going up that roller coaster and you're about ready to hit that peak and roll down. And other times it's just going to make you want to throw up and stop and fall off the tracks, right? There's so many emotions that go into this business, and it's not the business that's hard, it's the emotion that is hard. So really identifying that and recognizing that it's not it works that's hard. It's not signing a loyal customer that's hard. It's not signing a distributor that's hard. It's ourselves that we have to get over and get through that make this hard. So 4 things, there's 4 reasons why people fail in this business, okay? Number 1, they're not coachable, okay? Reason number 1 is that they are not coachable. We have, It Works has established just a simple system of blitz, wrap, repeat, steps to success, yet people still fail at it, right? Because they don't learn how to do it. They just don't want to do it. They want to find some other way of how to do things in their own way, but yet they don't want to follow the simple system. If someone isn't seeing success, it's almost always because they're not following our system, right? They're not following the steps to success. They're not plugged into trainings. They're not on the corporate calls or corporate events. They're trying to do something else their way. They either don't trust it, or they're too arrogant enough to think they can do it faster, stronger, and better at their own speed. So, that being said, when she was talking about, being coachable, she said, I did every single thing, and I repeat every single thing that my upline did. And if she sent me verbiage, I sent just that. I didn't tweak it in any way, shape, or form. If she told me to chart that, I charted that. I didn't do anything else. And literally mimicking what her upline did forever until she realized she got it, right? And then you can put your own little twist to things and how you want to do it. But until you can actually get to that point of, okay, I get it, without trying to reinvent the wheel or trying to do things differently, it's being coachable. Plugging into all the resources that our company has to offer and becoming a student of this business. Being coachable is, doing exactly what you're coached to do, learning just the basics, and then, again, adding on your own little personality into the mix as you go along. I loved this analogy that they said is, would I have walked into a disposition to interview a potential witness without first learning the procedure, because they're mental health counselors. So you wouldn't, right? They would be asking the questions, but you'd be helping them, coaching them. And that's why they came to you in the first place. So just like this business, as you got started, you went to your upline for a reason, right? So why is it that when we get started, we all of a sudden don't trust what they're saying? We all of a sudden don't trust that the process works. We all of a sudden don't think the steps of success are going to take us anywhere. We all of a sudden don't think that I'm not good at this business. No, it's you. It's you. Take a look in the mirror and say, am I coachable? Do I really listen to everything they're saying? Do I really soak it in 100%? Or am I just okay, thanks. And that's something that I realized, you guys, the first year that I was in, is I thought my upline was crazy, and I was just whatever, yep, I get it. Get on the calls, get to team trainings, do personal development. I get it. I know what I need to do. But I never did it. Nothing clicked for me. There wasn't that reassurance that oh no, I've got to do that, and I've got to do it 100%, right? Not the half-ass, not the check I did it. It was, I need to do it and do it wholeheartedly. And I was talking to actually Tony about this today. She was saying about personal development is not just saying, you don't do it to say you did it, right? You've got to do it and take things from it and make it beneficial. So whether you're, brand new to this, which most of you guys aren't, that's why I'm doing this with you guys, or you've been plugging away for a while. So whether you've been in 6 months, a year, 2 years, or even 3, and your business isn't where you hoped it would be, make it a commitment to be 100% coachable this year. Make it a commitment to yourself that no matter what your upline says, you're going to trust that, because they know. They've been in your shoes. They've been where you're at. And all of us are in different stages in our business. Almost every single one of us. I don't think there's one person that's in the same stage. You guys may be experiencing or feeling similar feelings, but as far as business goes, as far as recruiting goes, as far as personal development goes, we're all in different stages, right? We're all in this trying to get through this together and be successful together, and work through our goals together. So I want you to declare right now that wherever you are, that you are going to tell yourself that I am 100% coachable. Not 99, not 95, 100%. Okay? And so this next part goes into, it kind of talks about why is the coachable piece so important? And I'll be honest, you guys, I didn't think it was that important either. I just thought that, you know what? I will just follow, I'll get on the Zooms, I'll get on this, I'll get on that. And I didn't realize what coachable meant, because if you're not coachable, you won't talk to enough people. All right, let me repeat that. If you're not coachable, you won't talk to enough people. The uncoachable, as he says, as the ones we like to call them, also refuse to implement proven business building tools to help them expose and close in their network. Expose our network to what they're offering and move them through their funnel to a close. So we start a conversation, we work through the steps of that conversation, and we close. And all the tools that we give you to do that, are you really doing it, or are you trying to do it your own way? Okay? Which is fine. If you've got something that's working for you, great. But if you're trying to figure out why you're not where you are you listening to your upline? Are you listening to your leaders? Are you listening to what people are saying and trying to do to help you? Or are you just kind of going through the motions? So the next part, being coachable is the first step, right? That is a first step of getting to where you want to be. It doesn't end when you learn the basics. When you become a professional network marketer, or you could say direct sales, however you want to say it, but whatever you want to say it, you have to become a student of the profession, no matter what. Okay. So we're not in school, we're not in any of that crap, but you got to become a student of It Works, a student of the products, a student of our compensation plan, a student of whatever you want to say within this business. You got to become a student of it, and you got to learn it, whether you want it or not. I'm not agreeing by any means at all, but I became a student of It Works, a student of this culture, a student of the friendships, a student of the freedom. I saw people having freedom, and I had to be disciplined for a short amount of time to gain that long-term freedom, right? I had to become a student of our products and use them so I could share them with other people. Even if I didn't want to be a green and learn every ingredient, that's okay. It's not saying that you have to know everything about everything. It's meaning be a student of the culture, be a student of this business, be a student of the products, be a student of the comp plan, so that you too can then go and train leaders, not followers, leaders. You want to train leaders in this business, not followers. Do you know why? Because you will want to, I promise you 1,000%, because I made that mistake when I first got started. Ask Brittany when I first got started. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. Both of my uplines quit on me. I was just like, come on guys, just follow me. Come on, let's just keep going. We got this. Just keep going. Keep moving. But I wasn't creating leaders, okay? I wasn't creating people that could fish for themselves. I wasn't creating people that could go find resources for themselves or have their own parties, rap parties, or, go out and blitz by themselves or go do their personal development by themselves or whatever that may be. I didn't do that. And that's something that I really want you guys to think about tonight is your top 10. Are you creating leaders or do you have followers? Okay. You've got to create leaders, because the higher that you get up in this business, you don't have time to do every single rap party with them, but you can teach them to do one for themselves and then to teach their team to do one for themselves. And then guess what? It's called layered leadership, and it's going to relieve so much stress off of you. And I can promise you that you don't want to have to revert backwards and be like, okay, now let's do some layered leadership now. And that's what I had to do. And it's hard. It's hard when you're already a year and a half in, you're like, backpedal. Let's go back to the basics of leadership, let's do this. So number one is coachable. Number two is you don't treat this business like a business. And I think like all of us know that this part-time side job becomes a career if we take it seriously. You know, this business can become a career if we want it to. Now, are we all out to, you know, for the same ultimate goal? No. But if we want it to be, it can. So, and we've all heard this before. If you treat this business like a business, it's going to pay like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay like a hobby. So taking a look at your paycheck, are you getting the part-time, spare time hobby pay, or are you getting a career pay? You know, could you pay your mortgage with your paycheck right now? Could you pay your car payments with your paycheck right now? You know, think about that for a minute, and then it'll reflect back on the work that you're doing. So, okay. So to turn your business, you know, to a successful business, you must first make it a priority, right? We have to make our business a priority and carry it with us wherever we go. So I love this analogy, as they said, you know, if you owned a retail store instead of a virtual business or at-home business, you have to go to the store every single day. You have to get in your car, you have to drive to the store, and when you get there, you turn on all the lights and you flip the open sign, right? So you flip the open sign and you're open from whatever, it's 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. or 9, whatever it may be. So how do you expect to be open for business if you're not turning around that open sign every single day? Okay. So think about that. Are you turning around that open sign in your brain and in your schedule and your thoughts? You know, every time your mouth is closed, so is your business. So think about that. Every morning when you wake up, do you flip your open sign? And this was interesting, this next part about treating this like a business, is that you have to devote at least 80% of your time to your personal business, which leaves 20% to your team and 20% to your newbies and 20% to the old, the new, and then the growing in, which sounds crazy and a little bit selfish, but you've got to. If you're not constantly working and growing your own business, you guys, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not. And again, learn from my mistakes, because I did that. When I first got started, both of my uplines quit, and I thought, oh crap, what am I going to do? Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm here signing loyals and distributors. I don't even know how to promote. But what I found is that I had to learn these ropes, and I had to keep doing it and duplicating it, because I had to create leaders. I couldn't create followers anymore, right? I had to work my business if I wanted my team to work their business as well. So paying yourself. Okay. So then he talks about paying yourself first is what keeps you growing. What keeps you to keep moving forward? What helps you to propel yourself to that next level? So if you're thinking about, well, my team's not working or my team's this, you got to, look in the mirror and say, well, am I working? And it was a hard concept for me to accept for a while, because I'm like, well, I need to make sure they're working, and I need to make sure they're plugged in, and I need to make sure I'm doing this, and make sure we were talking about this on Tuesday too, about getting to team training, about making sure our team's there. But if we're not there, how do we expect our team to be there? Right? If we're not on a team Zoom, how do we expect our team to be there? Same with team trainings or a corporate call. And it's so funny, because when we write down all the stuff that we do for our business, it kind of seems like a lot, right? But then when you really break it down, you're like, okay, our corporate call Sunday night's 10 minutes, sometimes 15, and then sometimes 20 to 25, and we're getting the announcement and they're pretty pumped up, right? Then we have our team Zoom that's anywhere from like 40 minutes to an hour on Sunday, but there's 24 hours in a day. So what are we doing with every one of those hours? And then we go to Monday, we have our Show Me the Money call, which usually lasts about 30 to 40 minutes. And then we implement our, our day-to-day stuff. Tuesday team training is about an hour and a half. And then we throw in these Zooms here and there for Rubies and Above that lasts about an hour. And if you think about the time that we actually plug in and do things a month versus the time that we're working, think about it a little bit. It may seem like a lot throughout the week, but when you really sit down and look at those 24 hours that you have every single day, are you really treating this like a business? Are you taking this seriously? Are you putting in that effort and those little things that's going to take you to that big reward? And since our businesses are so flexible, you guys, and we can work this business around life, right? We can work this business around life, and we can maneuver it around the hours as needed. So, but you've got to get the business in every single day, regardless of life happening. Okay. So if you're supposed to work your business in the morning and life happens, believe me, it happens to me all the time. You have to adjust your schedule. You have to do 30 minutes in the afternoon, or do 30 minutes at night, or turn that hour into the nighttime. Okay. But you've got to get it in. You've got to do it. Because if you want to see the result, it's the day-to-day little action of taking this business seriously and treating it like a business with consistency is what's going to take you to that next level. Number 3 is they're not willing to get uncomfortable. And I think this is interesting, because when we finally have that aha moment of like, that's what I've been missing, or that's what I needed, or I know every one of your light bulbs and it's gone off and you're like, that. Like, it's just that click moment for you that nobody else could do for you or say for you but yourself, right? You're the only one that can find that aha moment. You're the only one that can find that missing piece of the puzzle. And so number 3, getting uncomfortable is so hard for so many people because it's uncomfortable. We don't want to do it. It's not something that we choose to do or choose to feel or choose to be, but we have to do it in order to grow. And in order to grow, to go to that next level, there's got to be some sort of nudge. There's got to be some sort of, I don't like this, but I got to do it anyway, right? Because once we do it, then we're going to realize that, oh, I can do that. Then nudge yourself a little bit farther. Oh, I can do that. And you won't be able to realize what you can do unless you don't nudge yourself out of that comfort zone. So, so people that don't get uncomfortable with this business, they keep practicing talking to people instead of actually talking to people. Assuming they're supposed to sound like established leaders and sound like this person or that person or be like this person. Yet if you would just talk to people, you'd be a lot farther than you are right now. And I was reading that and I was like, that's so crazy, because sometimes I'll sit there at my phone and I'll mock up this whole verbiage and I'm like, what am I doing? Why don't I just voice message them, right? Or why don't I just send over a message? Like, it's not that hard, and we work ourselves up to make it this so uncomfortable thing when it's really just doing it. So you don't, okay. And then it was talking about, this isn't some type of endeavor where you study and then apply what you've learned. It only works if you allow yourself to earn as you learn, right? So we learn as we earn. We got to keep learning. For you to earn more money, you've got to keep learning. You've got to keep pushing yourself, propelling yourself that next level outside your comfort zone, whether that's through your personal development, whether that's understanding the comp plan more, whether that's learning another product, whatever it may be. If you want to go emerald, or you want to go diamond, or you want to go double diamond or triple diamond presidential, what's it going to take to get there? Are you willing to put in the work it takes to get there? If so, then you've got to stretch yourself. And you can't be the person you are right now mentally, emotionally, physically, if you want to go to that next level. You've got to move, right? We've got to stretch ourselves in some way, shape, or form to get there and make it happen. So getting used to being uncomfortable. And then number 4 is we're not hungry enough. We're not hungry enough. And clearly there's only 10 of you that are hungry out of all of our leadership council tonight. So that is a bummer, because I thought there were a lot more people that are hungry. They all said 7:30 was a great time. So guess it wasn't a good time, because none of them wrote it down on their calendar. So they're not hungry enough. They're coachable and willing to learn how to do this. They're even consistent for a while, but then something happens. That something is called life, and it gets in the way. Life is always going to happen. Life is always going to get in the way. The kids get sick. There's, people that distributor that was supposed to sign up, didn't end up signing up. There went the flat tire. You thought the paycheck was going to be a little bit bigger than it was, and it's not. There's a really good episode of The Bachelor on this week. So your business goals get moved aside and down on your list of priorities. Okay. And I'll tell you, I sat there on Monday night and I watched The Bachelor, and I watched the entire Bachelor beginning to end. Well, actually I recorded it so I could skip through commercials, but I sat down and put in my hour of follow-up before it, because I wanted to sit there for a minute and relax, because I never do that. And I don't ever watch TV, but for some reason I just laugh at all the stuff on The Bachelor. But if you're going to do that, then put in the work before. Because guess what? When The Bachelor's over, you're not going to do it. You're going to go to bed. You're tired. You're going to go to bed. So you got to make it a point to do it before. Or if your follow-up's in the morning, then do it in the morning. But you've got to identify that if you want to take this business seriously, and you've got to realize, are you really that hungry? Are you really that serious to change your situation? Are you really serious about, I'm done living paycheck to paycheck? You know, I'm done with these unexpected bills coming in the mail. You know, I'm done with, okay, there went my car payment and my mortgage and my insurance, and we have about $20 in our bank account until next Friday. You know, I'm done living like that. Or I really, really want to have a savings, or I want to have a college fund. You know, you've got to identify that. Are you really that hungry? Or are you just trying to tell yourself you're hungry? Life happens to all of us every single day. We're all working within the same 24 hours. So why do some people stop working their business? Because life happens. While others of us keep working on our business in spite of life being thrown at us. What is the difference between the A person and the B person? Because some are hungry and some are not. No matter what gets thrown at them, they're not going to give up. No matter what gets thrown at them, they're still going to put in their hour that day. And when we start to train our brains and realize and identify that life is always going to happen and probably going to happen more and more and more and more, it's just a part of our routine, right? It just becomes a part of our routine that, oh, here comes life today. I had a lot of life happen yesterday and today. And I was so annoyed, you guys. I was like, I literally went in my bathroom and I shut the door and I locked myself in there and I was like, why? Like, not today. No, not today. Like, I've had such a good week. I've had such a good month. Why is life happening right now? And I locked the door and I got in the bath and I sat there in my bath for like 35 minutes and just sat there. And I was like, why is this happening today? Like, no life, like, go away. And I was like, I'm just going to sit here. And it was 4:25, you guys, and I was supposed to go to the gym at 5. It was 4:25. I was like, I'm just going to sit in the bath for like 10 more minutes. And then I'll make up some excuse why I can't go to the gym tonight. Right? So I sat there and I mind battled myself for like 10 minutes. And that 9th minute came around and it was 4:34. And it was like, get up, get out of this bath, go get dressed and go to the gym. And we go through that. We go through that one voice in our head that we talked about Tuesday night. That's like, nope, don't follow up. Don't do it. You're tired. Just go to bed. It's okay. You'll do it in the morning. You won't do it in the morning. You won't do it. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, I won't do it. I won't. You're tired. Because guess what? When you wake up in the morning, life's going to happen again. Your alarm's going to not go off. You're going to be late. You're going to forget your coffee. You're going to forget your breakfast. You're going to forget something. Or the kid's alarm didn't go off. And then you're mad. And then, or like this morning when Nixon wakes up at 4:00 again, second day in a row, and he's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, I don't care. Go to bed. It's too early for this. You know, and then you try to wake up and then you're waking up grumpy because life's going to happen. So you got to train your brain that you're hungry and focused no matter what life is happening. The ones, again, that separate from the ones that keep going versus the ones that don't, they're hungry and they're really hungry. Like starving hungry, that no matter what happens, they're going to continue to work. And then when you look down the road 5 to 10 years later into the future, and you see a future of just getting by and not getting ahead, you'll really see how hungry you really are, right? You'll be able to see if, yeah, I'm kind of hungry or I'm a little bit hungry. No, if you're starving, you're going to see freedom 5 years from now. You're going to see true 100% freedom that you never thought existed. So if you are willing to do whatever it takes to build and accomplish your dreams and be coachable, get uncomfortable, be hungry, it's going to happen, you guys. It's going to happen. You've got to just keep going and identify that within your business. Even before you're making good money, you've got to see the vision of the big picture. You've got to see this succeeding. You've got to see yourself on stage. You've got to see yourself as an ambassador diamond. You've got to see yourself successful before you can even be successful. Again, it's the emotional battle that we go through every single day. And it's like the dumbest things, right? We want to message that somebody or we want to message that person, or we want to go to team training, but we're so tired. Get up and go, right? Get up and go and just make it happen. Visualize the taste of freedom. You know, what would happen with $50 more on your paycheck? What would happen with $100 more on your paycheck? Maybe 2, maybe 3. What if we throw on that comma and you got your first $1,000 check? What would you do with it? And when I started visualizing that and thinking about that, I was like, well, $1,000 would pay for this, but $2,000 I could quit my job. And $2,200, I'd be good. But $3,000 I could pay off my debt. I could do this. And I really want you guys to just visualize that for a minute. If you had $100 more on your paycheck, what would it do? Just $100. Okay. Now start thinking $300. Does $300 start covering a car payment? Is that the phone bill? Is that your energy bill? Like, what is that $300? Just visualizing that right now. Is that your groceries and your gas? What about $500? What would $500 do? Now we're talking maybe half your mortgage or a good chunk of it. Or what if we added in that first comma, that $1,000 check? What would $1,000 do for you and your family? And I'm not just saying, oh, it would pay our bills. What bills? What bills? Would it mean that they're finally paid on time? Would that mean that extra $1,000 went to your savings? Would that mean that you could cut down some hours at work to spend more time with your family or your spouse or significant other? Getting really, really down to the core of your goals. Because I promise you this, you guys, the hungrier that you are, the more that you're going to want to work, the more you're going to stick around and be plugged in, and the more you're going to get past the nitty gritty life always being thrown at you. When you can taste the amazing freedom that is so close to you, it's going to feed your soul right now. It's going to give you that sense of, I can do this right now. It's going to give you that sense of purpose right now. When you can finally see your family taking vacations at a luxury all-inclusive resort, when you can finally smell that leather, that brand new car that you're sitting in that you wanted for years, when you can finally put money in that savings account that you never thought existed, when you can finally live life on your terms, it is the most beautiful thing in the world. When you can walk out of that 9 to 5, if that's what you choose to, and literally walk out, open arms, and say sayonara like I did, it was the best feeling in the world when I took my mouse, and I will never forget when I hit clock out, that last day, June 1st of 2014, it was the best day of my life. Like, I will never forget that, because that to me meant freedom. That to me meant that I no longer had to listen to somebody. I no longer had to, go file this, and can you go create this report, and can you go to this? And I was like, no, I can't actually. I'm done. But in this business, it gives you a purpose. It gives you a fill your cup, fill your soul kind of purpose, right? Because when we help other people have that fill your cup kind of purpose, fill your soul, fuel your dreams, it fuels yours as well, right? And that's the beauty of this business. And once you identify that, you guys, you're going to be around for 20, 30, 40, 50 years to come. Not in and out for a couple months here and there, or working part-time, half-ass time here and there time. I'm here, and I'm here for a long time. So if you dig deep and start to dream bigger so that your hunger propels you into that action that not only changes your life, but your family, but also inspires others to change their life too. What if you could learn how to do our steps to success better, or recruiting better, so you're more comfortable talking to people about your business and about the products? What if you could learn how to think like Mark Pentecost? Think about that. What if you could learn to think like Mark Pentecost, Pam Souter, Mike Botello? What would they think like? What decisions about your time would you make? I can't make you coachable. Your upline can't make you coachable. I can't motivate you. Nobody can motivate you. That has to come from you within. But we can coach you. We can help you. We can inspire you. We can help you chart. We can get you on. You chose to be on the Zoom tonight. 11 of you chose to be on out of what? 50 of them or 40? I don't even know. And that's not that many people. Right? at all. And so when you identify that if you're the one that keeps showing up, I promise you keep showing up, you're going to go to the top, even if you don't see the result right now. Because I made $300 a month for about 14 months. I mean, there was some $600 months, maybe like 2 or 3, but I didn't even know that was like getting deposited in my MyWorks account. So those months like don't even count. So like $300 to $350 a month for like 14 months. Okay. And I didn't know how to propel myself to that, like that rollover of that. Like I felt like I was paralyzed at that income. Anybody else? You just feel like you're paralyzed where you're like, I can't get over that stupid $300 mark or that $200 mark or that I can't move, like not happening. It's all in here. It's all in here. It's not your team. It's not your potentials. It's not your recruiting. It's not. It's here. Once you recognize that and identify that, it's all up in this head and this brain of yours that's telling yourself this story that you're never going to make more than $300 a month. Once you get over that and identify that, you will, I promise you that. Because that day that I sat in the hospital, January 25th, 2014, I looked over at Tyson and I said, I'm going to make this dang business work. And he was like, whatever. I said, no, I'm dead serious. Enough was enough. And the day that I decided, I have never looked back. Now, let me tell you this. Has it been easy? No. Do people quit on me all the time? Does life happen to me every single day? I mean, yesterday I locked myself in the bathroom for 45 minutes. It happens. It happens. But what you've got to decide as a leader is that in your routine, you're going to get your time in every single day. And if you're not having fun, call your upline. Go have a coffee. Go have lunch. Go to dinner. Go for a walk. Go have a play date. Get to a one team, one mission. Get to conference. Go have some fun in this business. And if you're not locally where you can't do, a training or whatever, go hang out with your team. I promise you it'll refuel you. I promise you 100%. Being around those people that just get it and that understand how you're feeling and what you're going through, that's what renews your purpose. That's what fills your cup. That's what fills your soul, is being around those people that just get it. And I know for me, when I can pick up that phone and I can be like, this person gets it, all I have to do is just talk and they'll listen. It's like one of the most weightlifting things, right? So the next part that we're going to go into really quick is talking about, why are you here? Do you know 100% why you're here? And I'm not just saying the whole cliche, what's your why? And I mean, you know why you're here, but why? Like, do you 100% know why you're here? Okay. Why are you wanting to build this business? Why aren't you working a job right now? Or if you are working a job that you're getting a paycheck from, why are you doing it at work still? Think about that for a minute. Why? Why are you wanting to build this business? Some say your why has to be big enough to make you cry. And if it doesn't, that's okay, but it's definitely got to be big enough to keep you consistently showing up for your business week after week, month after month, and day after day. And if you're not showing up, it's because something is wrong with your why. Your why is not strong enough. You're not hungry enough. You don't want this bad enough. If your why is not strong enough, you are not hungry enough to propel yourself to that next level. Okay? This business will never be a priority, and you will be stuck in an endless, vicious cycle of that $200 paycheck because you're not working on your business, because it's not tied to something that you really want. Okay? You're going to end up in this vicious cycle over and over and over and over again. I'm telling you, 14 months is very, very draining to open up that eSuite and see the same paycheck over and over and over again. And to be honest with you, I don't know why I didn't quit. I didn't really have a strong why. I didn't have an upline. I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. I just was kind of just a bump on a log. I was just there. But you know what I did? Is I decided that one day I literally sat down and was like, okay, there's got to be more to this business that I don't know about. And sure enough, there's a compensation plan that works and you can make 5 figures a month. Sure enough, there are products that work and people need them. Sure enough, that I had to get off that chart and realize that, oh, I can do that. I'm making this business hard. The hard part is we make it hard, guys. Like I said, we make this business hard. Our steps to success is easy. Our compensation plan is easy. That's why anybody can do it. A high school dropout, a stay-at-home mom, a lawyer, a doctor, anybody can do this. And that's why we have designed an incredible, product line and compensation plan, and anybody can do it. So why do we wrap our brains around this $200 paycheck is all we're worth and all we're good enough? It's all right here. You've got to train this thing called your brain and get it right and get so hungry and eager to learn and to move and get off of that paralyzation of that chart or that income, because you're worth more. You and your family deserve more. Your why deserves more. You're not working your business because now it's all about that guilt and about that failure, because you're beating yourself up for not working your business, right? Yep, I want to work my business. I want to work it. Oh, it's 9:00 at night. I didn't work my business. I suck at this. I'm never going to do anything with this. I'm only going to make that $200. Oh, it's Friday. I'm going to work my business. I feel good today. It's Friday, follow-up Friday. I just sent one message and they said no. And I suck at this. And I'm never going to get another message ever again. I'm terrible at this business. It's Saturday morning and I'm going to message Allie and I'm going to quit. Oh, wait, no, I'm not, because she's going to show up at my house. So, nope, I'm just going to ignore her. Not going to message her back or text her back, and it's Monday or Sunday. It's Sunday. It's Team Zoom. I'm going to get on Team Zoom. I'm going to prove to her that I'm going to plug in and show up. It's Team Zoom. And I texted the whole time on Team Zoom. Oh, crap. Now I'm not a good leader. My team saw. Get out of that. It's okay. Like, life and that vicious cycle, get out of that. Like, I've been in that cycle many of times. I can promise you that some leaders on this Zoom have too. Probably every single one of us has, right? Where we get in that, I'm really good at this. I got the hang of this. Oh, somebody said no, I suck. I'm never going to get a yes again. Anybody else? I'm never going to get another yes. I'm never going to promote again. I'm never going to make more than $200. Guess what? It's just a vicious cycle in your head that you're in. And that little cycle can keep going. You literally have to step out of it. You've got to decide that, okay, I'm better than that. I deserve more than that. I am good at this. And that hungry, that get a little bit of fight in you. Put that little bit of red. Put that little bit of red in your brain right now. Every one of you guys are red. And say, I will make 5 figures a month. I will be a top recruiter within It Works, because guess what? You will. When you're speaking that into existence, it's going to come to life. This vicious cycle is not fun. It is draining. It is exhausting. And guess what? We'll stay in that vicious cycle until you decide you're going to change that. It's exhausting just saying that out loud to me. Like, thinking about that cycle that I was in for so long, like I said, for 14 months of battling back and forth of I don't even know what I was talking about, battling that. And when you decide that enough is enough and you're going to stop trying to make things happen, you're just going to make things happen, you're out of that vicious cycle. So, do you know why you want to build this business? And the vast majority of the time when we ask people why they're building their business, a lot of times people say, I'm not sure. Or, if you can't smell it, see it, taste it, or it doesn't move you to get up and work your business every day, then you don't know why. Your why is not strong enough. You got to get a little bit more in depth, okay? When you figure out your why, you've got to share it with the world. You've got to share it every day. You've got to share it with somebody, whether it's your upline, your sideline, your downline, your family, your husband, your spouse, your wife, your whoever it may be. You've got to let people know. Because guess what? Then they're going to hold you accountable, and then they're going to be watching you. When you say, I'm doing it for this and for this and for this and for this, it's almost attracting, and people want to see you do it. So I'm a big believer that, your why, it can be about money, but it can't be all about it, because it has to be about what will that money do for you. If you want $5,000 a month, that's great. I support you 1,000%. But what's that $5,000 going to do? It will pay my mortgage, my car payment. It will get me completely out of debt. It'll do this and this. Okay. So what's that house look like? Are you still in the same one, or did you buy a new house? What kind of car are you driving? What are you thinking? What are you wearing? What are you, you've got to get so nitty gritty to think about it as an orange and peeling apart that orange every single day. Every day, you've got to peel a new surface a new surface, a new surface. And if you're still on that outside of that orange tonight, I want you to peel that all the way down to the core. In order for you to get outside of your comfort zone, which is so scary and so uncomfortable, your why, this sounds crazy, has got to be about you. You've got to come first before anything else. Okay? And I think I've said that plenty of times this month about what has changed in our life, our marriage, my son, our relationships, everything, because when mom's happy, everybody's happy, right? When mom's less stressed and takes care of herself, people around her feel that, right? So we as women are programmed to always be doing everything for everyone else, making sure everybody's satisfied, making sure everybody eats before us. I was making a joke last night because I was like, he was like, how was your bath? I was like, it was cold. I'm tired of cold baths. And I'm tired of the mom bath. I just want a Nixon bath, or I want a dad bath. I want a warm bath. And he was like, oh my gosh, you always get the warm baths. And I was like, yeah, or the cold baths. I go, yeah, because it's not the mom bath. So I was laughing about it because it's so true, right? Moms are, we're generally as women, put everybody else before ourselves. So we as women have to build this business for ourselves. We've got to be a little bit selfish when it comes down to our why, okay? You need a bulletproof why to get you through the tough times. And that why has to be about you and for you. If you want this for your kids, that's great. But what will it do for you wanting it for your kids? Think about that for a minute. Does your why have anything to do with you at all? Anything, any part of your why, does it have to do with you? It is possible to have a breakthrough if you can discover a new, renewed, and powerful why. You can. Even tonight, if you identified your why and identified that why you're not propelled to that next level, you can have a breakthrough at 9 p.m. tonight and be on fire. And I can promise you that. I can promise you that 100%. Because the day that I decided enough was enough, and the day that I decided that I was going to do this, I did it, because everything up here changed. Everything. And I'm not saying just I kind of want to do it. No, there's no kind of want to, shoulda, woulda, coulda, maybe. It's you either are or you're not. Our whys evolve within our businesses and the different steps and stages that we're in. And the key to consistent growth and not, stalling out like I'm in and no, I'm not. And I'm in and I'm not. And I'm in because there's a promotion and a new product and this is really fun right now. And then when everyone quits and everyone decides they don't want to work and everyone decides they don't want to run their auto ship this month and life just sucks and my volume is down and no one's working, I'm out. Okay? I get it. I used to do that too. I get it. But you know what? While you're over there saying that life sucks and no one's running their auto ship and there's no orders or anything like that, you've missed every single potential along that way that could have needed what you had, right? So you've got to, like my why when I first got started, it was, I loved the body wrap because I saw it worked and I was like, I think my friends might want this too. It wasn't more so for money. And then it kind of changed into, well, I was pregnant, so I wanted to be a good mom and for Nixon and this and that. And it's evolved and changed time after time after time. Because if you're constantly not hungry for more, which sounds crazy, that fear of failure, fear of success thing, which is so weird, why we're scared to be successful, I don't know. We're just humans and weird. But if you're not scared and you're not renewing that why constantly and having that in-depth why constantly, you're not going to go anywhere. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, you're gonna sit where you are for another year. We'll probably have the same Zoom in a year and you're gonna be still in the same spot. So don't do that. Don't do that, because I will shake you until you're blue in the face, because you don't want to experience and go through what I went through. It was paralyzing. It was painful. It was emotional, thinking that I could go triple diamond with a double diamond mindset. No, I couldn't. I was at Ruby trying to go diamond, but I was never going to get there because I was stubborn. I was stuck in my ways. I wasn't coachable. I was thinking I could do this on my own. You can't. You need your team. You need this team. You need your upline. You need Not saying like, oh, you can't do without them, but what I'm saying is to support those like-minded people around you at all times. Once you can create and check off that goal, you guys, your why becomes different and bigger every single time, right? Once you hit different stages in this business, your why changes as you go along. So you can't go every single day with the same why, to be honest with you. You've got to develop and you've got to grow and you've got to change and identify that, because if you're constantly every day like, I want it for my kids, how are you going to move? How are you going to grow? If your why is still the same thing of like, well, I want a new house, that's great. But are you driving by that new house that you want periodically? Are you going to that car dealership and taking that dream car for a test drive periodically? You know, if you want to shop at the grocery store that has the high-end groceries, the all-natural, organic, whatever, that's ridiculously expensive, if you want that, go to that grocery store and walk up and down those aisles so you can literally smell that. You can taste it. You can feel that. Today, Nixon, I was trying to drive around and make him fall asleep. And I was driving up to like these lots that I've been looking at. And I just kept driving over there and I was like, I'm just going to go back home. And I just kept in scenes like, go over there. Just go drive through those lots. You know, you want to. Because we keep talking about building and building and building. So I went up through and I just drove through and I just kept thinking like, okay, I envision this and I see that and I want that. And I was like, I don't really want a big house, but I want land. I want that freedom feeling, that like sitting on the front porch with your coffee at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday and watching the sunset, reading your book and watching Nixon run around in his underwear, swimsuit and his tractor and, you know, and our shops over here with our training facility up top. And I was just visualizing all of this. And if you don't have those visualization moments, why do you work? You know, why do we work? Why do we dream? Why do we write goals down if we can't visualize them and see them coming to life? So you have to find a new why. It becomes about others as we go along in this process, but it has to start with you. You've got to be hungry. You've got to want this. You've got to dream bigger for yourself before you can dream bigger for your kids, before you can dream bigger for your team. You as a person have to grow. But wait, hold on. No, I'm not going to do that part. Never mind that part. Nah, take that out. Okay, so as we think about our why, rethink it. Remember that it's okay to be selfish about what you want. That it can be that can be a hard mindset shift for a lot of people, and especially for women, since we're programmed to be so dang selfless and do so much for others. Yet a lot of the whys that he says, a lot of the whys that I've talked about prove that doing for yourself and doing for others don't have a mutually exclusive. So one of the biggest reasons people can't find the real why is that the one that will make them get uncomfortable, right? Getting uncomfortable, stretching ourselves and growing and constantly showing up is because they don't dig deep enough. We're not hungry enough. We don't want it that bad. So if you're really saying like, I'm really sick of this $200 paycheck, like I'm so freaking sick of it. Like I don't even care if I get it anymore. Anybody else? Like I'm over it. I'm over opening my e-suite. I'm over payday. I don't care. I didn't get another raise. Guess what? You got to dig so deep tonight that your why changes, and your why changes for yourself. That enough is enough, that you deserve it. You, not your kids, not your husband, not your spouse, not your boyfriend, not your team. It's you. You deserve better. You deserve more. Peel that onion back tonight. Peel that orange back tonight and explore your why and ask yourself, you know, why do I want that? You know, why do I want an emergency fund? Why do I want a savings? Why do I want a bigger home? Why do I want a better car, running functional car? You know, what is it? Another reason that people can't figure out their why is because they've stopped dreaming. It's so easy to get up in this whole, I'm content, I'm happy, I'm good where I'm at. But there's so many more people that need this and so many more people that want this, okay? If you haven't stopped dreaming, maybe you stopped believing that it's possible. Maybe you stopped believing that you are worth a $3,000 paycheck. Maybe you stopped believing that you could be a diamond. Maybe you stopped believing that you could be an ambassador diamond. Why? You stop believing that it's possible to actually realize that your dreams can come true in this business. You can accomplish everything that you want with It Works Global. We have every tool, every resource, every outlet to make those things happen. And it's up to you to make that happen. If you don't believe it can happen, you don't dare go for it, let alone dream about it. Okay? So really quick, I want to talk a little bit about goals. So he talks about setting SMART goals. So achievable goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound goals. SMART goals. Okay? These SMART goals are going to fill you up short-term, but for that long-term goal. Having that almost like okay, I want to go Ruby or I want to go Emerald, but what is it going to take in that process to make that happen? Setting those SMART, achievable, attainable goals so that you're marking stuff off along the way as you go. Identifying what do I want to accomplish, when do I want to accomplish it, and why do I want to accomplish it? So identifying that process of your why. Don't let this discourage you from your stretch goal or let this discourage you from reaching your overall goal if you're not hitting those little goals along the way, or those realizing that there's unrealistic ones, but you're going to get there, but you got to keep dreaming. You got to set goals along the way and reach those goals along the way to hit diamond, right? This business grows fastest when you keep making stretch goals for yourself and your team. What's the worst that can happen? You shoot for the moon and land among the stars? That's okay. You're still shooting big. And that's exactly what we want, you guys. So I want you to ask yourself before we finish up is how bad do you want this? How bad? How hungry are you? Okay? And I'm not just saying your goal or your why, it's just how bad do you want this? This is what separates the talkers on our team from the doers on our team. This is what separates the people that move and grow and mentally have their aha breakthrough of, I'm going to do this. Like, game on. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. I don't care what whatever life gets in my way, I'm going to make it happen. It's one thing to say you want to build a business, identify your why, and set goals that will get you there. But it's a whole different story, whole different ball game when you actually do it, when you actually commit, when you actually 100% take this business seriously. How badly do you want it? And it all loops back to your why, you guys. All of this does. So is your why big enough to let go of that TV show? You know, is your why big enough to maybe do personal development while you're cooking or get on a team Zoom or team call while you're doing something else? Okay. Setting aside that dedicated time every day to your business to move forward. You've got to simply rewire your brain on a daily basis. So not just, so taking action every single day. So you want it so basically you're not only relying on that willpower as much, you're simply just going to want to do it. And you'll get out of that vicious cycle of I should do it. I know I want to do it. I know I could be doing it, but I'm not. I'm going to do it. No matter what happens, no matter who quits, no matter who says no, I'm going to do this dang thing every single day. So I have a little exercise that I want you guys to do tonight, and then you guys can either send it over to me or you can post it on our team page or however you want to do it. But number one is I want you to identify your why, your real, raw, peeling apart that onion why. The next part that I want you to do is, why is this so important to you? I want you to get very, very specific. And how can you see this changing your life, affecting your family, those around you, just your long term with this being specific? Number three is, if you don't achieve your why, what's the pain you'll experience from it? You'll still be in the same financial situation or mental roadblock, or what is the pain you're gonna experience or feel if you don't achieve your why? And then number four, I want you to look ahead 5 years from now into the future. If you don't achieve your why, where will you be? And what will you have given up all because you didn't follow through and take action on what was important to you. So look ahead 5 years in the future. What does life look like because you didn't follow through with your why? And most of the time, we can kind of identify where we're going to be at if we don't make a change, right? We can pretty much identify financially, physically, emotionally, that we're probably going to be in the same spot. And so if you're telling yourself right now that, after this hour-long Zoom, if you're telling yourself that, you know what, I am hungry. I do want this. I have this burning fire inside of me that I am so hungry that I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody thinks. I know life's going to hit me, but I want this. Why? Why do you want this? And that why is going to be so crucial to identify and get very clear about, because that why is going to propel you to the next level, you guys. That why is going to take you from ruby to emerald. That why is going to take you from emerald to diamond, from diamond to double, double to triple, triple to presidential, presidential to ambassador. And guess what? That person that went ruby is going to be a completely different person than the person that went ambassador, because you grew, you stretched yourself, you got uncomfortable, you were coachable, and you just decided that one day you were going to go for it. You just decided that one day enough was enough. You decided one day that you were going to pour into your personal development so much that you could run an hour-long Zoom for our team, all because this one book that you decided to open was it. Okay? And again, those of you guys that wanted to know, it's get over your, I'll type it in here for you. So really quick before we finish up, does anybody have any comments, feedback, things that they're thinking about or they want to share before we wrap this up? And again, I want to tell you guys really quick, I appreciate you guys being on and being committed tonight, as there were so many people. This goes to show again that you can be, I had things to do. Obviously, I was sleeping at 7:15, but it's a choice. It's a choice to be plugged in. It's a choice to be committed. It's a choice to realize that the short-term sacrifice is a long-term reward. And those of you guys that chose to be on tonight are choosing to be committed. You're taking this seriously. You put the 7:30 Zoom on your calendar and you're making it happen. Okay. Aha moments. Thoughts. How did your party go, Leanne? Okay, somebody unmute themselves before I mute you. Michelle says, I need to rework my why. It hasn't given me enough drive and focus. Yeah, and if it doesn't, I love how you said that, you have to rework it. You've got to identify what do you really, really want, like peeling it down to the core of, to the bottom, to the T. Who else? Tanya, I just saw you want unmuted. Or were you going to say something?
I unmuted.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
For me, I really struggle with a why. I think that's part of what's holding me back, because I don't really have, I'm just doing this because I want to. Mm-hmm. It's not that I want a new house. I don't need a new car. I don't. I want to do it. I like to keep busy. I like to help other people. I want play money. I want money that I can spend and not have to worry about, is he going to freak out because, I use the debit card for something, because, now that I'm not, I don't have the outside income, I really need to step up on this. My why is to be able to help out my kids, but my God, they're in their 30s. It's like, come on, So that's where I'm really struggling is, how am I going to dig deep enough to figure out what the hell my why really is? And I think that's holding me back.
And it's so funny though, Leslie, how simple that is, but how paralyzing that is at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I've talked to Denise about this too, as I said, Denise, how do I keep dreaming when I dreamed and worked so hard for 4 years? And this was last year, so I think it was about 3 years, when I was like, I never, ever, ever imagined making this kind of income from home or having this many friends with the same kind of freaking mindset that were positive, or, you know, and then I said, and then when you look at your dream board and you've checked everything off of there, how do you redream? You know, how do you get out of that mindset, that comfort, you know, of like, I have everything I want. And Denise was saying, she goes, but do you really? Do you really? 100%. And I'm like, no, I still have a car payment. I still have a mortgage. You know, and I kept thinking about that, and I'm like, and she goes, can you 100% say you have everything that you want? I'm like, well, yeah. And she goes, no, dream a little bit bigger. I go, well, I do want a private jet. I mean, like, that's pretty cool. You know, and then like, that's what she was saying. She goes, really thinking outside of the box of like, so you're telling me tonight you could hop on a plane with Nixon and go see your family. Like, you could pay for that $1,200 ticket tonight. Then she was saying along the lines of like, not even money, but things of, you know, could your husband be off work for 6 months and you guys just do nothing and you'd be okay with that? Or she was trying to really brainstorm like things. So, like, this year on my dream board, I put like the littler things on there, the littler things that not so much money driven, but it was like confidence back, really looking good and feeling good. Like, I wanted me back. Like, I've never been like unhappy, but I've never been truly healthy again since I had Nixon. I've always just done like the half-ass, like the mom, like, it's okay, everybody else ate, mom will just have a bowl of cereal, it's fine, like, it's fine. And I decided that 3 weeks ago, there was no more of it's fine. That the way that I was going to dream big this year was making my why about me, which sounds so dang selfish, Leslie. Like you were saying, you're like, what do I do? I mean, I have my house, you know, I have the cars I want, and that was me. We got the cars that we want. We got the boat my husband wanted. We got our house. You know, we put down $10,000 down on that boat. And like, there's so many things that we've done and accomplished, and, you know, books that I've read, and we got a nanny, and we did this, and we dreamed, and we got on cruises and trips and everything. And I'm like, how can I possibly dream anything bigger? You know, I have everything I want. And then, you know what I thought about is I said, I want my team to experience what I've experienced. And then that's when I started realizing, I was like, I've got to get a little bit hungrier. I've got to dig a little bit deeper, because I want my paycheck to deposit to my team's account. I want my team to experience the freedom of what it feels like to call up that credit card company and be like, hey, you can wipe out that entire balance. I'm good to go. Or when that unexpected family member dies in Michigan and you have to buy a plane ticket at 8 o'clock at night and it's $1,500 and you can afford that. So that's when Denise, when I talked to her, she goes, think outside of the box. Think outside of those things that you never would really be able to do. Like you were saying, Leslie, that if you want to go to Starbucks and buy a $10 coffee every day, that you can. And you don't have to look at that bank account or care, because you can, you know? And so that's when I started realizing, like, okay, I got to stretch myself just a little bit more. You know, I wanted to go take Nixon to preschool. That was, you know, thinking about those things. Yes, there's an expense behind that, but it was preschool. You know, I wanted to do my personal training. I wanted to do, like, thinking outside the box of not just money, but like life. Like, what do you want your ideal day to look like? And now let's say you're home. So what do you want your ideal day to look like? Do you want to be going to brunch every morning at 9 a.m. because you can? And followed by going to get a new pair of shoes because you can?
There you go.
I'm going to go for a 5-hour-long walk or a dinner cruise or whatever. And I thought about that. I'm like, dream a little bit bigger. Think outside of the box a little bit more about that life that you see other people do, or successful doctors or lawyers or millionaires. And you're thinking, like, I'm never going to have that. Like, I mean, I can want that, but thinking a little bit bigger, because then you're going to help your team be just a little bit bigger. And that's what I started realizing, as I was like, I have to get a little bit more uncomfortable so that you guys can. I have to push myself a little bit more so that you guys can experience the freedom that we have. So, like that. It's just thinking outside of the box just a little bit more. Because like you said, you have everything you want. So how do you think bigger? How do you dream bigger?
So even something as stupid as, I got a bid to have the house painted, and
yes.
I mean, $5,600, and that wasn't even including my friggin' bedrooms or bathrooms.
Yeah.
You know? And $6,000 for the exterior. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So writing those things down of like, your why is your house. You know, you have a beautiful home, but I really want the new appliances. You know, I really want to paint it. I really want my office to be black and green or whatever it is, and really identify that down to the core of what you want this year. And then that way it's going to propel you and fuel you and make you hungry. And I think, like you said, just identifying that why will help you move to that next level. Leanne said, me and Kendra were doing it together and I think it went great. I did not want you to lie because I got so nervous. Oh, that's awesome. Good for you. Anybody else? Esme, Kayla, Tawny, Deb, Alexis? And you guys want to share anything about your why or any aha moments that you might be having? Esme, I know you want to unmute. Anybody else before we wrap it up? Okay, so we will go ahead and finish up. I have this recorded so you guys can go back and refer to it later, but thank you so much, you guys, for plugging in, and I hope you identify that you are not going to be a failure, that you are good at this. You're going to identify your why and identify that process of, oh, here, I'll help you, Esme. There you go. You're muted. Can you hear me, Esme?
Can you hear me?
Yep, there you go.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I can share what I have so far for my why. My why is to be able to buy your own house. That way we can have like a fenced yard for the dogs to be able to run outside. And that's the main one. I've never gone to Disneyland. I want to go to Disneyland with my family. Take my kids there because I never got to go. Those two are like the two main ones.
Okay, I love something that you mentioned. You said you wanted to get your own house, but then you wanted to have that fenced yard. I want you to think about everything that you want that house to have. From that fenced yard to the driveway, to the exterior, to the interior. Really think about everything that you want. Like, and then think about your Disneyland trip. What do you want it to look like? From the $10 souvenirs to the $25 water bottles that I just went through all that. You know, the Mickey Mouse toys and the rides and the shows, and what do you want to experience while you're at Disneyland? And just create like, almost like what we did like in high school where you have like the topic and then, you know, the web tree or whatever, how you write everything else around that topic. Think about that tonight and really identify what would a new house do for you and your family? What would going to Disneyland do for your kids, that experience, that new adventure? Like, what would that do for that? So thank you for sharing that, but I challenge you to really, really identify what would change if that happened. And then thinking too, you guys, you know how Michelle, you were saying, I really need to rework my why, unless you're like, I really need to find mine. And Esme, you know what yours is, you know, now you can really think about, okay, so if I were to accomplish this, ooh, there you go. When I accomplish this, what am I going to dream for next? What am I going to work for next? You know, and that's your stretch goal. So this is your right now goal. This is your right now why. But then think about what your stretch one is. Like, think about like the one that is just so uncomfortable you don't want to talk about or even think about or even write it down. But do so, because in the process of working towards that new house and working towards Disneyland, you're going to hit that stretch goal in the process. So identify your why, identify what you want right now, and then identify what that stretch goal is to that 5 year from now goal. Where do you want to see yourself? Where do you guys want to be? So awesome. Thank you guys so much for sharing, and I appreciate all of your guys' feedback. And again, I will have this recorded so you can check back with it later. So I will talk to you guys later, and I can't wait to hear about what your why is, how it's important to you, identifying that, and then looking ahead 5 years from now, what do you want life to look like? So I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.